right, horror fans, welcome to Universal Horror Unleashed. I, of course, am your host, Dave Solo, and I am unbelievably excited, A, to be back in the Radio Broadcast Center here at Universal Orlando Resort, and to have the two guests that are to my right. You wanted it, you're getting it. It's the OGs, OG Jack and Chance, Mr. James Keaton, Miss Erin Cline. How are you two today?
Oh my gosh, we're wonderful, Dave. This is so exciting. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
We love to sit and talk about ourselves.
Yeah, wait. Well, it makes my job easy. And again, Mr. Keaton, this is the first time that you and I have really sat down in this setting, so I'm so excited. Erin in the studio with me makes me nervous because last time we were in here together, she duct taped my mouth, beat me up a little bit, threw me to the floor, and my career was launched. So thank you.
Well, what can I say?
It was
I like
a
to
great
have fun.
time. Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of fun, we're going to have a ton of fun because I want to talk all about Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas. We all just got back.
Yeah, we did.
Right? What did you think?
James?
Oh, I love the vibes. I just like going in there and hanging out all night. The drinks are great. Houses are fun.
Yes.
And just the atmosphere. I love all the characters and all the Jack references.
A lot of Jack.
Yeah, I was really blown away by the fully realized concept. You know, the last time we had seen it, it was a construction site, and just to walk in, from the moment you walk in the doors and the things, the interactive performers happening above you, around you, it was a beautiful space. And to move through it, you know, it's like it got cooler and cooler. Yeah, you're just giddy, right? Because you enter into the Jack area and we got to see all this new, like, cool artwork and graffiti and stuff of our faces and check out our drinks, and the food was amazing and all the people were so cool and the houses were amazing. And, yeah, I don't know if I have like one word to describe it, but maybe by the end of this podcast, I will have that word.
Okay, I didn't bring my Sharpie out here, so man, I'm slipping, but maybe we'll make sure we get that word from you. But I mean, surreal, everyone says surreal experience, but
Yeah, that's a good one.
Definitely.
you know, the fact that it's almost like with these characters, you time travel, right?
We're everywhere.
Yeah, and then now you're here in Las Vegas, so what is that like to see drinks named after the character you made famous, to see performers who are emulating what you did back in the day? What is that like?
It is surreal. I guess it's just, for me, I'm more amazed that a little thing that we did in 2000 has now become this giant thing, because I could just remember how small it all started with, hey, we're going to test something on you. And it's this new character, and it was kind of vague, and they're still putting it together. And I just like, okay, sure, I'll do it, you know. And then you leave, and you keep on working, and then here we are, 25 years later, and it's like he's all over the world now. You see him in Singapore and China, and then now he's in Vegas, and just see all the merch and like like stuffed animals and stuff, and you're just like, that was just one little gig that was like, we're gonna try something, and then here we are, 25 years later, and to see this kind of growth in the character, popularity, and then just the imagery that has kind of become iconic. That artwork that they did for 25 is now just sort of everywhere.
Right.
And it's kind of iconic and synonymous with Horror Nights, and now it's going to be synonymous with Horror Unleashed.
Absolutely.
Well said, dude. You put in the time. You deserve it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think for me, pride. That's a really great word. I'm so proud of Chance, of that actress, for the work she put in, for her loving the character as much as I do and always will, and it really shows. I'm proud as a woman that in 2007 I came in as very much a side character, never intended to be more, and because the universe wanted it so, and because, you know, I worked hard for it and I loved her, she's now alongside of this guy, and and I'm just so proud.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because I have a daughter who dressed up as Chance for Halloween.
No way.
So yeah, what does it mean to you that young girls see this character strong as anybody else and just amazing and looks so cool that they want to emulate that? What does it mean to you as a woman that you've been that role model?
Oh, my Chelsea smile. I'm grinning from ear to ear, right? It means a lot, you know. And you separate the whole, like, she's this maniacal, you know, killer clown. You separate that and you look at solely her strength and her her appeal as a woman, and not a traditional type of woman, and she can be sexy and funny and strong and hold her weight against by far one of the best actors that we have here at Universal, and Jack the Clown. That she can stand alongside of him and even one year take over for him.
Right.
Is just and that's what little girls and women and ladies of all ages or anyone who resonates with her, that's what they're seeing. They're not seeing the maniacal clown part. They're seeing all of the other strong elements that I really did want to put into her, and I'm so glad that those things would shine through.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I would love to see a picture of your daughter dressed as Chance.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Afterwards we can do that.
I'm so excited for that.
and James, Jack, the ultimate badass, right? Like the ladies want to be with him, the guys want to be him. And one of the reasons why I fell absolutely in love with Halloween Horror Nights was your portrayal of this character.
Oh, thank you.
So, like, how did you get sucked into that character? Like, and how much of what Jack became was what you personally injected into it, like your ideas?
There's definitely like a evolution of the character since we started, and we go through the whole phases. When we talked to the people at Horror Unleashed to try to give all the different phases of Jack, and I think you saw some of that in 21 when we had here. Clown suit, he's total animalistic. I always thought of Jack as animal, raptor, the claws, the fingers, the teeth, the mouth. And so that was that Jack. Then we move into like 2007, where we get he kind of takes over the circus, and he's trying to become more refined from animal to the ringleader, but he doesn't quite get there. And then in 2015, they do another makeover, and this time I have the leather jacket, and we have a sidekick who's willing to get her hands dirty, and I don't have to get my hands dirty. And so he kind of becomes more of a cult leader, or just sort of leader of the entire event, where he enjoys just watching everyone else create the mayhem and become the animals or the maniacs. You know? And so he's just like relishes, like, I'm not a bad clown. You guys are crazy. You guys want these people killed. You want these. And I think he likes doing the twist, and he's kind of evolved. I think he wanted to always run the show, and I think in 2015 we kind of got that. And I think we get that at Horror Unleashed, where he's in that 2015 costume, and he's running the show, and he's like has his maniacs. So that's the version you're going to get at Horror Unleashed, is the master showman and the leader of the maniacs. But yeah, it kind of evolved. There was some direction. There was marginal direction on the voice back in the day and I think I really found him. And I did a couple little photos, and we did some filming here on property at Universal Orlando, and I didn't really quite know who he was. But once they sent me out in downtown Orlando, and
he fit right in.
I wish we had like film crews and iPhones then. But yeah, once they sent me downtown Orlando, and it was free reign, and I had to confront people. I had to go to the news organizations, and I was delivering these invitations for Horror Nights, and they had no idea who I was. I wasn't on a billboard. The character Jack has never been announced to anyone. And I think then, when I was left on my own, like, go, throw me out of the nest, I think then I started figuring out the voice, figuring out the hands. The hands are claws, so that's why his hands are always. I'm always and I talk with my hands. You'll probably see this. So that kind of becomes part of me.
Sure.
But at the same time, I have my nails. I'm like, this is part of him. And then you have the teeth that kind of dictate how you're going to speak and your pronunciation. And you have the wig, and you're kind of aware of trying to make these pieces move because you're kind of covered. And so I just have little tricks and little things that kind of move them along. And I was trying to instill that to Jack out in Vegas so that he can keep that kind of thought process: claws, hands, the teeth, keep the hair. It's like a big thing, it's a focal point.
Absolutely. They're fashion icons, let's be honest. Complete fashion
But that's
icons.
kind of the evolution. So I really started finding the voice. And then as far as my sense of humor, I think slowly my sense of humor, because a lot of times, again, we're just left on our own devices, so I have to kind of bring in my own personality. And I think I figured out that he probably is just a embodiment of rage. I have a feeling Jack is just enraged.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like as a clown, he wasn't funny. I don't think he was great at being a clown. And I think he was enraged that people were like, you stink, you're terrible. Kids probably like, you're not funny. Happens here to some of the theme park people here. You try to engage with some people and they go, you stink. And you're like, and so I think, but Jack was unable to control himself, and he created, and you'll know the backstory. I'm not going to go into it, but I find like that's the rage, where he was the disappointment there, and he grew up in an insane asylum, and I think he's just pure rage, and so the laughter and just everything is this rage. But the only thing that quells it is the ability to run a show, to have a show, have an audience that does appreciate what he does. And so that's his whole motivation.
Right. And speaking of shows,
That's the show.
at Universal Horror Unleashed, you can see Jack and Chance stay or slay. And obviously, you all had a hand in helping those folks. So what was that experience like going to Vegas and helping out these folks learn the ways?
Well, when we found out about horror, actually, James, I think it was you that kind of had seen some early marketing teasers about it and went, yeah, I think that's us.
I think we saw that concept art. I think that first initial concept art.
Yeah.
Right now, so I was
great.
like, oh, cool.
I think those are pigtails and a giant red wig. Yeah,
Oh,
that's us.
The hair.
And so that was kind of exciting. And as it developed, and as we were officially part of it, I remember thinking to myself, and probably even saying out loud into the world, man, I like, in some capacity, I wish I could be a teeny tiny small part of it. And the universe listened, because not very long after that thought, we were contacted by Nate Stevenson, who had worked very hard and really truly it gave us like full creative control and trust to send us out there and workshop with these actors who were so excited.
Yeah.
And that's half the battle, right? To be excited about the characters, excited about the show, love the characters, love what you do, and they are all of those things. And along with video packages and things like that they could reference. We had our shows filmed, we had commercial content, over the last however many years.
Live feeds.
Yeah, all types of stuff that they could reference. We were able to go out there and give them the who, what, where, when, and why of how we developed these characters and how they evolved. And even though they are, for the most part, and I think everybody knows this, they are kind of leaning into that 2015 Carnival of Carnage. Yeah. But at that point, both of our characters had evolved so much. We did continue to evolve beyond that, but it was just a really neat experience to go out there and hand over your baby
right.
to these people. And they just did such a good job with it.
Yeah. That was for me. That was surreal being in Vegas with you two and them two. Not spoiling anything for anyone. And then just your mind just spins and you go. So they're basically kind of doing an impression of them, but the
it's
characters
so
they created, and it's like and
that was one of the things.
Yeah,
that was one of the things in their training was like. They were like, well, you say this, and then half the time I would discover that I do something that I wasn't really conscious of.
Sure.
I would run through something, and then I would say, don't do this. I don't ever do this. And then they go, oh, give us an example. And then I would run through some lines, and they go, oh, you just did that thing that you told us not to do. And I go, oh, you're right. I think I do that because, and I had to analyze myself, because most of the time working in this environment in themed entertainment, most of the time we're kind of asked to like recreate an IP character that's already established.
Right.
A well-known actor has already done the role, so you're trying to impersonate him. So it was really bizarre to have someone try to impersonate.
Right.
us.
Yes.
It's like, wait a minute.
And impersonation is hard. I mean, I've done it here at Universal for years, and like James said, the decisions are already made for you. You can't. There's not as much creative control, and so we are asking people to talk like us, to think like us, to move like us. Things that are naturally comfortable to James and I aren't necessarily naturally comfortable to everyone else. And so, I think the voice, that's one of the big things that like, you just got to nail that.
Yeah.
And they just worked so hard, and, it wasn't an easy task what we were asking them to do. And they did it, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, the show is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more about it in a minute here, but I got to know. It's been burning in my brain.
Ooh.
I want to know the first time you two met. What was it like the first time that you met?
What did you think of me, James?
The only story I have is I remember you were the one asking who was changing the script.
Okay.
That's the only thing I remember.
The answer was James. The answer is always James is changing the script.
I think that's because I was busy doing another project somewhere else when the Jack show in 2007 was sort of a last minute effort because a magician was supposed to be Jack, but he couldn't do. We were just talking about trying to do the voice and the mannerisms.
Yeah. It just wasn't coming across the same.
So it wasn't working, and she was involved in that show already.
I was, and so that was.
So Chance was already there.
Yeah, that was kind of one of my intros to Universal. What a cool intro, right? I mean, I had done scare acting in 2006, but I was living in England, and obviously you can hear by my accent I am not from there, but I was living there, and so I did scare acting in 6, and then just for the short time, it was like, we did Halloween Horror Nights for like 6 weeks back then.
Yeah.
And I came over here, I did it, I went back. Well, in 2007, I had officially moved here back to the US, and this was my first gig. And so I remember auditioning just as a scare actor because I didn't know there were separate actor auditions. I didn't know anything about working for Universal, but I had a degree in acting. I had my arsenal of monologues that I could pull out, And
I like
and, pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
What do you need? Drama, theatrical, comedy. And so, I came to the scare actor audition. I was invited to the actor audition. I get this role. I remember getting the phone call. I still remember where I was. I got the phone call, and, I'm told about this character. I'm told nothing else. It's still very, very hush-hush at that point. So we get into rehearsals. We're rehearsing in this magician's warehouse. I'm super excited, man. I'm like, I'm just happy to be here. And I'm improvising, and, at the time, the character of Chance was considered actor B. And for those of you who don't know what that means is that I went in, I recorded my dialogue, and I would just be mouthing my dialogue in the show, right? Well, James comes in because we decide to shift some things around. The magician becomes a different character.
So they needed Jack, but I was unable to really rehearse the first 2 weeks of it. I was doing something else. So they had another person doing Jack and getting this show together. And so I came in during a run, one of those last few days of final dress.
Yeah.
And the whole thing they kept telling me was like, well, you're Jack. So as soon as you come in, we'll hand you the script, watch the show a couple of times, and we'll put you on in, which is kind of what happened. They just kind of threw me on in. But watching the show, I'd hear lines and I'd be like, there's a joke there. There's a funny there. There's a this, there's a that. And so I was in there rewriting the script while they were doing this dress run through that they've been working on for the past. Well, she's been working on even longer.
Well,
but the Jack was working on it.
Yeah.
And so they were like, "Oh, we got the show. The show's down. This is
I'm like,
this
who
is our
is this
final
guy?
dress.
Yeah.
This is our final dress." And I'm like, rewrite. And I went
Yeah.
to the director, and then I just remember then he was like, "Yeah, we'll toss in those lines." And
But you know what, though, James, at the moment, and there was a lot of like, oh, okay, things are moving around. I mean, I didn't know any different. I didn't really know how established that character of Jack had been, and I didn't realize when he stepped into that role that here walks in a legend who's gonna honestly do some really cool things for me, and I attribute a lot of what I've done at this company to him. But as soon as we got on stage, man, and we started improvising, even though I wasn't supposed to, I was still doing it.
I probably would say something that wasn't on the script and be like, "What do you think?" And then
Yeah, but as soon as we started doing that, you and I clicked, man, and you're just like my favorite person to be on stage with.
thank you.
That's magic. It's magic for me to be
It's
sitting
full
here
trust,
and
right?
watch. Like I almost just want to be like,
It is.
Yeah,
just go.
It's full trust because a lot of the things we were doing were like wild. You really have to trust your scene partner. You have to feed off of them. You have to lift them up. You really kind of have to read their mind. And we got very close very quick, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, and then that's why in 2015 it was great because that show was more about her. And to make sure. And I knew
it wasn't.
You were doing all the heavy lifting because you had more of an arc and everything. I was just like, maniacs, yell, scream, yes, love me, go on. And you'd have mental breakdowns every hour when we did the show.
I did.
So I
loved my mental breakdown on stage.
So I loved. But then we all knew when we were doing it, it was like setting up Chance to have her own year. Like she was going to go ahead and.
Well, I didn't know that for sure, but
we knew. The whole time we're like, next year, or we just knew like after this show, your Chance is like she's her own thing. She can exist without Jack now. We knew that was the final
Well, and I think that we can attribute that to both of you. What you did individually, what you did together. Obviously, the chemistry's there. So before we move on to something else, James, I'm going to start with you. What's your favorite thing about working with Erin?
She definitely yes ands, and then because I'll say something crazy, and then also I guess because I am off the rails, I know that she is like the steady. I know I can rely on her to keep us on track, and to also keep the pace. I love a lot of what we do in these shows and stuff. I can kind of read off her right away. Like, are we going to pick up the pace? Or are we going to slow down? Because it's not. You don't want everything to be one level.
Sure.
And so I know with her, I'm always able to feed off of like, oh, we're going to speed up. Oh, okay, we'll slow it down. And there's just a comfortability in that and the trust. Definitely that.
Great.
Yeah.
Erin, what's your favorite part of working with James?
I think James taught me a lot about making a script my own. And I don't, aside from the joke about us changing things.
Rewriting it entirely.
I'm the rewriter.
It is so well impressive that you can dive into a script. He is a phenomenal writer also, and that makes him an even better actor. He can really dive into the underlying meaning of a script. What are the subplots? What's the gray? What are we actually saying? What are we actually doing? And he is strong enough and confident enough in his skill to stand up for that, to say something for it. And what has come out of that have been some excellent choices, and it has really empowered me to do the same.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I hope you felt that empowerment on your year for sure. I was like, well,
I did.
One of the things, just as a side note, was Hell Yeah, Jack is improv. That's something I did, and now it's on a T-shirt at Horror Unleashed.
It's on the container on the wall, the big containers.
Yeah,
because when we were doing 2007 again, adding dialogue when we did the 07 show, we had calls and response. Hey, do you want me to do this? And most of these shows, we'll call them sacrifice shows. Your horror sacrifice shows. Most of the sacrifice shows, when you want the audience to respond, half will and half won't, because they're kind of like, oh, this is silly. We know no one's really dying.
Right.
We know. So I knew if you just give it up to them, usually a person in the audience is sort of indifferent. They don't know what to say, so they won't say anything. So you'll get like, you want to hear me again? And then you're going to spend minutes of constantly going, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Come on, you guys, going to get louder? And then by that time, people get annoyed and they're going to walk away. And so I knew to be specific, like, we have to give somebody a call and response. And I was working with interactive stuff at another place, and everything was like, we knew when we go, hey, do you want this? Say this. And so when we were on stage one night, I finally was just like, just say hell yeah, Jack. Say hell yeah, Jack. Hell yeah. And then that's when I knew the people knew what to say, so they'll say it. And not only that, but it's a minor curse word, I guess, hell, but it was enough to be like, I want to yell hell at the top of my lungs in a theme park.
Right.
So I knew to kind of play with the psyche of like, oh, they're going to enjoy saying hell. Say hell yeah, Jack. Yeah, it's cool. And so it's just funny how that was one of those things we added and was able to like add to the show, and now it's become its own thing.
That feels so cool.
It's very pro wrestling, which is what I love about it.
Yeah, it just needed that pump,
Yeah. Not
Can
going
you
to
imagine?
Not going to name any wrestlers because I don't want to
Yeah,
have
but can
to
you
edit yet
imagine
again.
that fight in the ring, Jack?
Oh, somebody has had to have made Jack in some kind of wrestling video game where you can create custom
Oh,
wrestlers.
for sure.
I might have seen that.
Okay, I'm going to
sure.
look it
Yeah.
up.
I get things
look it
sent
up.
to me sometimes. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Not that we're endorsing anything in particular, but somebody's had to have done it.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah.
We're going to get back to Universal Horror Unleashed stuff with some like rapid fire questions in a
Absolutely,
second
yeah.
here. But before we do, what do you think is the legacy of each of your characters, or even collectively? You can take this however you want, Jack and Chance, or individually. What's the legacy?
I think for me, it's like a combination of the symbolism. I think he's an iconic look, even taking the actor out of it. So I feel he's a likable and probably recognizable branding of Horror Unleashed or HHN or Universal. So I just feel like he's sort of like the mascot. He's like, I think it's just that he looks so different from other icons. I put in quotes, icons, because all the rest of them are just dark, and they all have their awesome kills and awesome origins, but it's hard to translate that in just a look.
Yeah.
Boom. Evil clown, totally easy.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate to be in the Evil Clown, and I just feel like he's definitely become the branding of Horror Unleashed and Halloween Horror Nights and Universal Horror, as a live entertainment character. Not in movies yet. Hopefully.
No, not yet. Fingers
Not
crossed.
yet.
Not in Universal movies yet.
Let's not get me in any trouble.
But yeah, I just think the recognizability, and then he is versatile in the sense that he can be frightening and funny.
Yeah. We are, Universal is Dr. Frankenstein, and we are its monsters.
I love that.
Thank you. I just came up with that.
On the
Thank you.
spot?
Well, on the spot, man.
This is why I like working with her. See, look at that.
You need your own show.
She's awesome.
And because we are successful monsters. I mean,
Yes.
all of the, let me do it, air quote, icons, have been wildly successful, but these are the two that they have taken, to other venues all over the world. And I, again, very humbly, I say, I'm so grateful to have a seat at the table, and to be standing, shoulder to shoulder with this guy. Yeah, I mean, as a woman, I think that, again, we talked about it earlier, and I just, Universal saw the potential in a female icon, and not that there haven't been successful ones in the past, but a female icon selling tickets to an event, a female icon being strong out in Vegas. And that is the legacy, man, that I got to do that for women, that I got to inspire women.
And dare I say, if it wasn't for Chance and what you did with that character, would we have had a Bride of Frankenstein Lives house? Probably not.
Gosh, who knows? Yeah.
I think that's the foundation and the framework for what you two have done. The original icon, the inspiration for women, for everybody, for the symbol to have fun. That's what I love about Chance. Just the crazy fun.
Yeah.
That's what
She's
I love.
unhinged.
Yeah, which.
What's there?
We've all been
there's no better
attracted to
fun
that
than
once in our lives.
Hey, haven't we all?
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
I think Jack is rage. Well, she has more fun in it. I don't
Like
think
mania.
Jack has.
Yeah.
So, again, I want to keep you two all day. I wish I could, but they're not letting me.
Ugh.
Oh, that's not fun. So I want to do some fun questions. I want to do some kind of like word association with some of the amazing things you can see at Universal Horror Unleashed.
Okay.
So
Ooh, cool.
maybe a sentence with this. What pops in your head?
All right, let's see.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Visceral.
I like that.
Yeah.
Straight from film to maze. Yeah.
It's turned up, which is what I love.
It's
about it.
turned up. Yeah.
The Exorcist Believer.
I love the show moment in that one. Because you
Yes.
stop and you don't know. I'm not going to spoil it. There's definitely a show moment where it's like you stop and you're like, what's going on here? And then when the reveal comes, it's just very impressive and surprising.
Yeah. I love seeing two little girls dominate that maze.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And they truly do, you guys. It is incredible.
They scare me. I'll tell you that.
Sure.
As they should.
Next up, Scarecrow the Reaping.
Scarecrow the Reaping.
One of the best original content houses we have ever created. It remains one of the houses that people still talk about
Yes.
to this day. It was such a smart move for them to put that maze in Horror Unleashed and amp it up. The dust storm, not giving nothing away.
Again, like I don't know if you call them show moments, but like
Yeah, they are. They're show moments.
Show moments. Yeah, that one's
Show
really
moments
cool.
inside of a
Really
maze.
cool. Right. And just the scenic is amazing in that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you get a couple scares and you're like, I'm going to go through it again because I just want to look at this stuff.
Absolutely.
It's so cool.
And that's what makes Scarecrow, what made it here and what makes it there so successful is it's tight.
Yes.
Tight quarters. It's dark.
Yes.
It's heavy hitting.
In the cornfield. It's a nice surprise there. But again, not spoiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the cornfield is like, oh, this is cool.
The walkthroughs are there.
Yeah.
The videos
So
are there.
cool.
But yeah, shout out to Charles Gray too.
Yes.
We love Charles Gray.
A genius.
Universal Monsters.
My favorite. I just love the monsters, so
Yeah.
I love them all. I watch them all the time. I love the Van Helsing coffin. I think that is so
attention to detail.
cool. And you'll see that at the beginning. And and Horror Unleashed, if you could make that into a statue and sell it at the store, I would love the Van Helsing coffin.
help with merch.
to be sold at the merch next to the Jack merch. But yeah,
Limited
I love the monsters. It's so great.
Yeah, there's a lot of love in that house.
Yes.
You can truly feel the love in that house and how it was, and it is the first house that you can possibly see when you enter. And there's a reason for that. It's kind of a chronological movement of Universal Pictures into Universal theme parks, and so yeah, you can truly see the love in that house.
Speaking of love, the next one, Jack and Chance, Stay or Slay.
Best show ever.
Yes. Yes.
No.
That stage, or shall I say stage
Stage as.
Yes.
is so cool.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun. Kudos to the cast, and I love having the Maniacs still exist after
They do.
after our show from 2015. We still have the Maniacs are following us around at the Vegas.
And they're in two different forms. We've got incredible dancers, kind of building that energy, like the Maniacs did in 2015. But there are also specialty acts that are kind of Maniacs too, and that just creates this additional layer that is just visceral. It's aesthetically just very pleasing to the eye, and it's a wild ride.
And
Stay or Slay is a wild
and I love
ride.
it. I love that it's a great little introduction for those who don't know Jack and Chance,
Yeah.
that you get to meet Jack and Chance, and they talk and interact with people even after the show. When you do a meet and greet, then you get the personalities and get to see what they're about.
Yeah.
And so, it's a great new fandom for Jack and Chance.
Yeah, they're truly all over the place in that space.
Yeah.
They really are. And it's a perfect opportunity to grab a Jack's juice or take a chance, watch the
Yummy.
show, and then meet the icons themselves.
Yeah.
A couple more questions. You have been captured by the Sawyer family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You are in the Sawyer family basement. How are you going to escape?
Oh gosh, can you even? Did anybody?
Yeah, no one's escaped. As Jack and Chance, well, then Jack would be like, "Go ahead and cut me up, and I'll just put myself back together in 10 years and pop back up again."
I'm gonna go chance with this one and say, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
I want a seat at that table.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure Bubba's looking for a partner.
Yay.
Since it's Jack, I'm sure he's immortal, so I'm sure they'll cut him up
Yeah.
and serve him.
And we'll see him again.
And
We always see him.
and he'll taste funny.
Hey.
Whoa,
'Cause
ayo.
he's a clown.
This guy.
You hearing this guy?
If you could spend the day hanging out with one of the classic Universal monsters, which one would you want to hang out with? What would you do?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm a
I mean, do I go
Frankenstein.
on my gut? Yeah.
I'm a Frankenstein. At least I can teach him stuff.
Yes.
I can at least
Yes.
show him the world.
Don't
Try
throw
to-
the little girl in the lake.
Exactly. No throwing kids in the lake. And yeah, I feel like there's more wonder there, because if it's Larry Talbot, he's going to be worrying all the time that he turns into a wolf and he's going to depress you. He's going to bum you out. Dracula doesn't want to hang out probably because he's Dracula. And Creature Lagoon, you have to be underwater.
Yes.
Quasimodo, Phantom's going to be obsessed about. Yes, I think Frankenstein or The Bride, where you're able to show them the world and hope you can.
They're like little kids almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your answer as well?
Well, instinctually, I like tall guys,
Hey,
gentlemen.
that
So
is true. That
my
is
first
true.
thought was Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster.
Touche.
Get it right. Get it right.
Touche. Get it right. Before you go to Universal Horror Unleashed, Erin says, get it right. Well,
Or else.
I think those are good answers. I think that'd be a good hang.
Yeah. See, this is we're linked in, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're synced.
We're synced.
Before we let you go, this fandom has taken on a life of its own. And you two you're the center of our fandom universe, let's be honest, when it comes to what we do here. And I want to speak on behalf of the fandom, and I think they'll be okay with me doing it, saying thank you for everything that you've done to put into these characters, to make them what they are today, to always be willing to step back into the shoes or the hair, to going to Universal Horror Unleashed. You didn't have to, but you did because these characters are so important. So, I want to say thank you from the fandom for everything that you have done and joining me today.
You're welcome.
And I want to know if you have any message from your heart to the fandom.
For me, it's just amazing that so many people like Jack, and even if they don't like Jack, they always just know that Jack's the first icon. So it's always nice, and I'm happy to have represented that and stepped in the shoes as the first icon, and I hope Jack has led to other icons that you do love. So always just give a nice nod, like that's old man Jack.
Nice.
I set out to be an actor a really long time ago. I think I was like 15 when I decided that's what I wanted to do. I went to school for it, and I tried really hard. And in my mind, when I was younger, at this point, I would have been, a famous movie star by now, right? That's what we all, everybody who wants to be an actor dreams of. And without a doubt, this role and the opportunities that I have been given by portraying this role have been by far the coolest thing as an actor I have ever done. And I hope that it remains always one of the coolest things that I've ever done. And so, you can get a little emotional about it sometimes because you're like, man, this, if you're ever sitting around going, hey, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I wish I would have done more. Someone like your daughter who dresses up as you, or a fan letter that you might get, or someone you might interact with on the street reminds you that what we do is really important, and it affects people. And I don't know any other way to be a success than that. So thank you for giving me that.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, it's I think in the industry that I've been in or my career, it's, well, this is obviously before cell phones, but a lot of the stuff I've done has been pretty disposable. A lot of the stuff we do in live theater, most of the time is pretty disposable. And the fact to have a character that has longevity and a life of his own carry on, and people still remember him, it's kind of amazing to be in live entertainment, in theme parks or in themed entertainment, to have this character that you created move on. Because if you look at the history of live entertainment and theme parks, there's numerous characters like Cowboy Joe, who was probably at this park or that park or this park, and he's been doing it for years and was like super talented and touched people's lives, but gets kind of forgotten. It just happens. Not so much nowadays because everyone's got a video camera, but to have Jack kind of live on as far as my career, it's like, wow, okay, I did something that won't be forgotten. He managed to be kind of in a zone and also gain in a certain popularity to where even Universal has carried the character on beyond just me out in the street. So it's kind of an interesting and very cool thing to happen for someone in my career or job. Yeah.
And when I signed on to do this, I was not going to do a podcast or a show about Universal Horror Unleashed if I couldn't do it without you two. I wasn't going to do it.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
This is I think it's a gift to the fandom, and then finding out and knowing that you're both amazing, wonderful people too it's a gem. It's a great time to be here, Universal Horror Unleashed, with you two and what you bring to the table, and I'm so glad that you got to join me today.
Well, thank you so much. We did the work, but it's you and Universal and you guys that created the legacy.
Well, what was your first experience with Jack and Chance? Like,
yes.
did you come in 2000?
Ooh, James, good question.
I did, yeah. My first year was 13, HHN 13.
Okay. Yep.
And I was immediately drawn to Jack. I just loved seeing him.
Because you probably saw the commercials from 2000.
Oh, yeah. And when I had my own company, was doing my own thing, I would make compilation videos of things that I found of Jack. I was just fascinated by that character.
Cool.
And I love, everybody loves a good team. We can't say names of teams right now because I would equate them to other teams, but Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, everybody loves teams. And the addition of Chance, I was like, this is perfect. It's absolutely perfect because it reaches everybody. Like I said, for women, for young women, for, again, Jack. Ladies love him. The guys want to be him.
Yep.
We all want to be that badass character.
I get it.
So I kept coming back because of those characters. And I was on the edge of my seat every time we got close to an anniversary year because I want to see those characters again. So
and hopefully evolve too, like the characters again, and but plus,
absolutely,
which is usually what Universal's done.
Yeah, well, and I absolutely
absolutely
fell in love with the live shows, and now that's at Universal Horror Unleashed, I was mesmerized, and it takes you back, and it makes you feel something, and you go, oh, it's like when you hear that great song that takes you back to a time in your life,
memory.
At Universal Horror Unleashed when I was watching this show, it made me feel something and it took me back.
I'm so glad that did that for you.
I think that's what you all have done. And again, I can't say thank you enough on behalf of the fandom and from myself for what you put into it.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
This is a blast.
Let's
Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, we should definitely do it again sometime. Hopefully we can just keep coming back with this every time.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we could do it at Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Everybody, you need to go. You need to see Jack and Chance stay or slay and experience all the other fantastic in engaging activities and houses that they have over there in Las Vegas. So again, James Keaton, Erin Cline, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And we'll see you real soon. And next time right here on Universal Horror Unleashed.